Welcome back to another episode of Speak Smartly and Fluently. I'm Sarah, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Ben. Today, we're diving into some of the most common English questions you should know, and, more importantly, how to answer them easily and confidently.
That's right, Sarah. We'll break it down into 10 chapters, each covering a different set of essential questions that come up in everyday conversations. So, whether you're a beginner or just looking to improve your fluency, this episode is for you.
Let's get started. We're starting with the basics. What's your name? This seems simple enough, but sometimes, in a formal setting or when you're nervous, even this question can throw you off.
Absolutely, Sarah. It's more than just stating your name. Think of it as an opportunity to make a good first impression. You can simply say, "My name is Ben." But you can also add a little extra flair.
Exactly. You could say, "My name is Sarah, and it's a pleasure to meet you." This sounds much more welcoming and friendly. And if you want to be even more conversational, you could follow up with a question like, "And you are?"
Great point, Sarah. Remember, conversations are a two-way street. Showing genuine interest in the other person makes the interaction much more comfortable. It also gives you a little breathing room while you get settled into the conversation.
And don't forget pronunciation. If your name is difficult for non-native speakers, it's perfectly acceptable to offer a simplified version or a phonetic spelling. This shows consideration and avoids awkward misunderstandings later on.
And if you don't hear the name clearly, don't hesitate to ask politely, "I'm sorry, could you repeat that?" It's much better to clarify than to pretend you understood and call them the wrong name throughout the conversation.
Next up, we have the ubiquitous, "How are you?" This is often more of a greeting than a genuine inquiry, but it's still important to answer appropriately.
Right. A simple "I'm fine, thank you" is perfectly acceptable, especially in passing. But if you want to engage a little more, you can add a bit more detail.
For example, you could say, "I'm doing well, thank you. A bit busy with work, but otherwise good." This gives the other person a little insight into your current state without oversharing.
And remember, it's polite to return the question. "How are you?" or "How are you doing?" shows that you're also interested in their well-being.
Exactly. Even a simple, "and you," is sufficient. It keeps the conversation flowing and demonstrates good manners.
However, be mindful of the context. If you're in a formal setting or a quick interaction, a brief "I'm fine, thank you" is perfectly fine. Save the more detailed responses for more casual conversations.
And if you're not feeling great, you don't have to go into a long explanation. A simple, "I'm a little under the weather, but thank you for asking" is sufficient. You can always elaborate later if you feel comfortable. "Where are you from?" is a common question, particularly when meeting someone new. It's a way of understanding their background and finding common ground.
Exactly. You can answer this by stating your city, region, or country. "I'm from London" or "I'm from the UK" are both perfectly acceptable.
And if you've lived in multiple places, you can mention that as well. "I was born in London, but I've lived in Manchester for the past 10 years" is a clear and concise way to explain your background.
It's also helpful to be prepared to answer follow-up questions. People might ask about your hometown, what it's like, or why you moved.
Absolutely. Think about a few interesting things you can share about your place of origin. It could be a famous landmark, a local custom, or a unique aspect of the culture.
And if you're talking to someone from a different country, be prepared to answer questions about your culture. It's a great opportunity to share your experiences and learn about theirs.
Just remember to be respectful and open-minded. Cultural exchange is a two-way street, and it's important to listen as much as you speak. "What do you do?" or "What's your job?" is another frequent question. It's a way of understanding someone's role in society and starting a conversation about their work.
You can answer this by stating your job title or describing your profession. "I'm a teacher" or "I work in marketing" are both clear and concise.
And if you want to add a little more detail, you can briefly explain what your job entails. "I'm a software engineer, and I develop mobile apps" gives a little more context.
Exactly. But be mindful of your audience. Avoid using jargon or technical terms that the other person might not understand. Keep it simple and easy to follow.
And if you're not currently employed, you can still answer the question. I'm currently looking for a job in the hospitality industry, or I'm a student studying engineering are both perfectly acceptable responses.
And remember, it's polite to ask the other person about their job as well. It shows that you're interested in them and keeps the conversation balanced.
What are your hobbies? Is a great way to get to know someone on a personal level. It reveals their interests and passions outside of work.
You can answer this by listing a few of your hobbies or activities. I enjoy reading, hiking, and playing guitar is a simple and straightforward response.
And if you want to elaborate, you can briefly explain why you enjoy those activities. I love reading because it allows me to escape into different worlds, and I find hiking to be a great way to connect with nature.
Exactly. Sharing your passions makes you more relatable and interesting. It also gives the other person something to connect with and ask questions about.
And don't be afraid to mention unusual or niche hobbies. You might find someone with similar interests, which can lead to a great conversation.
Just be genuine and enthusiastic. Your passion will shine through, making your answer more engaging and memorable.
How was your day? Is a simple question that can open up a deeper conversation. It shows that you care about the other person's well-being.
You can answer this with a brief summary of your day. It was a busy day at work, but overall pretty good, or it was a relaxing day. I went for a walk in the park.
And if you had a particularly good or bad day, you can share a little more detail. I had a great day. I finally finished that project I've been working on for weeks, or it was a tough day, but I'm looking forward to relaxing tonight.
But be mindful of your audience and the context. If you're in a quick interaction, a brief response is sufficient. Save the longer stories for more appropriate times.
And remember to ask the other person about their day as well. It's a simple gesture that shows you're interested and creates a balanced conversation.
Exactly. Even a simple "how about you" is a great way to keep the conversation flowing.
What's your favorite food? Questions are a fun and easy way to learn about someone's tastes and preferences. It could be anything from their favorite color to their favorite movie.
Exactly. These questions are great conversation starters. You can answer by simply stating your preference. My favorite color is blue, or my favorite movie is The Shawshank Redemption.
And don't be afraid to elaborate a little bit. My favorite color is blue because it reminds me of the ocean, or my favorite movie is The Shawshank Redemption because it's a story about hope and resilience. Adding a little explanation makes your answer more engaging.
And it's a great way to find common ground. If you discover that you share the same favorite book or band, it can lead to a deeper connection.
Absolutely. And remember, preferences can change over time. It's perfectly okay to say, my favorite color used to be green, but now I'm really into purple. It shows that you're open to new experiences and evolving tastes.
And don't forget to ask the other person about their favorites. It's a reciprocal conversation, and asking them about their preferences shows that you're interested in getting to know them better. What's your favorite book, or what kind of music are you into, are great follow-up questions.
Could you tell me about something? Is a polite way to request information or ask someone to elaborate on a topic. It's useful in a variety of situations, from asking for directions to learning about a new subject.
Exactly. It's a more formal and respectful way of asking a question compared to simply saying "what is." For example, instead of saying "what is the capital of France," you could say "could you tell me about the capital of France?"
And it's a great way to encourage someone to share their knowledge or expertise. Could you tell me about your experience working in that field? Or could you tell me about the history of this building? Are good examples.
And if you're asking for directions, be specific about where you want to go. "Could you tell me how to get to the museum from here?" is much clearer than simply saying "could you tell me about the museum?"
And remember to be patient and listen attentively to the response. People are usually happy to share their knowledge if you're genuinely interested.
And don't forget to thank them for their help. A simple "thank you for your time" or "I appreciate your help" goes a long way.
What do you think about is a great way to invite someone's opinion on a particular topic. It's a good way to start a discussion and understand different perspectives.
Absolutely. It could be anything from what do you think about the new movie to what do you think about the current political climate.
And when answering this question, be honest but respectful. It's okay to have different opinions, but it's important to express them in a polite and constructive way. I think the movie was well made, but I didn't really connect with the characters is a good example of expressing a differing opinion respectfully.
And be prepared to explain your reasoning. I think the current political climate is concerning because of gives context to your opinion and encourages further discussion.
And remember, it's a two-way street. After sharing your opinion, be sure to ask the other person what they think. What's your take on it? Or, I'd love to hear your perspective, are great ways to invite their opinion.
And be open to hearing different viewpoints. Even if you don't agree with someone's opinion, it's important to listen respectfully and try to understand their perspective.
We're wrapping up with a very useful phrase. Is there anything else I can help you with? This is a polite and helpful way to conclude a conversation, especially in a service setting or when someone has asked you for help.
Exactly. It shows that you're willing to go the extra mile and provide further assistance if needed. It leaves a positive impression and fosters a good relationship.
It's particularly important in customer service roles. Offering additional help can turn a satisfied customer into a loyal one. Is there anything else I can assist you with today? Is a common phrase in retail and hospitality.
And even in casual conversations, it can be a nice way to end the interaction. Is there anything else you wanted to chat about? Or is there anything else I can do for you before I go? Shows that you're thoughtful and considerate.
And if the other person says no, a simple "great, have a wonderful day" is a perfect way to conclude the conversation on a positive note.
And if they do need further assistance, be prepared to help them to the best of your ability. That's what makes a truly memorable interaction.
Absolutely, Ben. And that brings us to the end of our 10 chapters on common English questions. We hope you found this episode helpful and that you now feel more confident in your ability to answer these questions with ease.
Remember, practice makes perfect. The more you use these phrases in your everyday conversations, the more natural and fluent you'll become.
Thanks for listening today, and if you found the video helpful and that you're feeling more equipped to handle those common questions, please hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you never miss an episode and share it with others who might benefit. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, we'd love to hear from you, so your feedback is really important to us. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy learning. You're doing great. Bye, everyone.